Playing with Fire by Scott Rieckens, Book Summary. Scott Rieckens' Playing with Fire, Financial Independence, Retire Early. How far would you go for financial freedom? Argues that you can enjoy your life to a much greater extent if you adopt the FIRE protocol, which urges individuals to acquire financial independence and retire early. This book has to be viewed in the context of Scott Rieckens' own personal journey. Today, he is the executive director of Playing with Fire and a co-founder of St. West Filmworks. But he wasn't always working in these roles. Many years ago, he had what appeared to be a perfect life on the surface, living in Southern California, happily married, and just after starting a family and earning a handsome salary. However, beyond the polished exterior, Rieckens was actually struggling, as he felt overworked to pay for the family's lifestyle, and they weren't actually saving any money. This led him trying to establish a better way of proceeding with his life, specifically by trying to cut down drastically on his and his family's expenses so that they could acquire better financial security in the long run, while paradoxically working less. This is the basis of the FIRE movement, meaning financial independence, retire early. In order to achieve this, Rieckens and his family moved to a more affordable area and downsized everything from their new cars to their daily expenses. Moreover, in the long run, he decided to change his career trajectory somewhat, becoming a film producer and an author. One of the results of this is the present book, Playing with Fire, on the very subject of the financial independence retire early movement. Rieckens' book is structured around his own story and progress and examples from the lives of others who have adopted the FIRE method. First, Rieckens is eager to point out that in order to succeed at this, you have to make a firm commitment to the FIRE method. This is often easier said than done, because for many people, this decision will necessarily involve other people in their lives, as it did with Rieckens' wife and children. It's one thing for you to decide to scale down your lifestyle. It's another thing to tell your partner that you've decided to move house and sell the car. However, Rieckens notes that this need not necessarily be a hard sell. He himself discovered by using an online calculator that, given himself and his wife's annual salaries at the time, they could retire in approximately 10 years if they adopted a more frugal lifestyle. Moreover, a more frugal lifestyle need not necessarily be less pleasurable. In fact, if it simplifies your life, it might be a very good thing. Having made the decision to commit to the FIRE method, there are key areas in which you can start to save dramatic amounts of money in a short space of time. One of the most enlightening parts of the book in this respect is the chapter in which Rieckens discusses how much he and others spend alone on coffee. Here, he calculated that the coffee and sandwich which he bought almost daily from Starbucks would cost over $57,000 if sustained over a 30-year period. Additionally, if that same money had been saved and invested at a rate of 5% compound interest, it would result in $133,000. No matter what way you look at it, that is a pretty striking statement about the cost of your daily visit to Starbucks. Rieckens' book is filled with all manner of other useful stories and info like this. He calculated, for instance, that he and his wife could retire in 11 years if they sold their BMW and downsized to a used car, while they would have to wait 12.5 years if they kept the BMW. As Rieckens himself notes, are nice leather seats in your car really worth a year and a half of your life? The remainder of Playing with Fire is geared around explaining ways in which you can make the money you will start saving once you adopt the FIRE method to work for you to produce even greater savings. Rieckens explains how the simplest investments are low-cost total stock market index funds. We won't go into what those are here, but they sound like an excellent idea. However, beyond any investing strategy, Rieckens is keen to emphasize that the best way to secure financial independence and retire early is to cut the major expenses down. As he asks his reader in a chapter towards the end of the book, do you want a dream home or a dream life? Rieckens and his family chose the latter and ditched their expensive house in a very expensive part of Southern California for a much more affordable home. Finally, Rieckens provides a useful synopsis at the end of the first 7 steps to take on your journey with the FIRE method. Firstly, calculate how much you have right now. In other words, add up what your worth is in terms of your liquid and non-liquid assets. Secondly, figure out how much you are spending on a monthly basis and how much you are saving of your salary during the same period. Thirdly, start reducing your daily expenses. Fourthly, and here is where the savings can really start to add up, reduce your spending on the big three of housing, transportation, and food. Then, as the fifth step, try to invest your liquid assets in a beneficial way. Sixthly, increase your income if at all possible. And last but not least, in order to keep you on track and committed to the FIRE method over a period of months and then years, build up a community of like-minded individuals who are on the same path as yourself. Whether this is online or in person, it will help enormously in sticking to your goals and progressing your journey to becoming financially independent and retiring early. So there you have it, Scott Rieckens' Playing with Fire, a book which contends that the key to a happy and fulfilling life is to acquire full financial independence early on and use this as a stepping stone to retire early and do what you want to do in life.